Hello, this is a new setup. I've been meaning to do this for ages and show what I do in the studio. So I'm going to take you through a new song. Just going to play you from this first chorus so you can get a vibe for it. It's very ethereal. It's kind of what I do.
I found peace. I live on in Valhalla until we are together, where we can sing a merry song. I'll live on in Valhalla until we are together. This isn't the end, it's just the start. This isn't the end, it's just the start. It all went dark, and for a second I couldn't feel anything. But then my eyes, they opened to see a distant light, a distant land. I live on in Valhalla until we are together, where we can.
Okay, so that's the vibe of the song. If you know my stuff, I do a lot of that. It's my thing, the ethereal epic stuff, working with Uriel, Ashley, Serena, and Freya, Catherine, and others. This is a song I wrote on my own, because I'm starting to, I've always written songs of my own. I've just end up collaborating a lot. But I thought I'd do this on my own because, and also I wanted to test Atmos mixing, which is 12 speakers. I can angle this, I guess. 12 speakers all around. They're on the roof, and it's the new music. It's the new music speakers, supposedly. It does sound amazing. It's just, it's you kind of hope the amount of money I spent, it's going to pay off. I think it will. It's very exciting. It's called Spatial Music, Apple Music. Anyway, I'm testing it on that. And if you can see my desk, oh, my shoulder's a bit buggered. So there's my desk. So I've got all the 13 out. What am I talking about? It's 12 outs, 12 speakers, and they all come out of there. But you're actually hearing this in stereo, because I'm not going to mix it in stereo and then mix it in Atmos. Once I finish a mix, I never want to hear that song again. It just takes everything out of me when I've written and produced a song and then mixed it, and I've really it's grueling. And then I have to do it again, and then have to mix it again. There's no chance. And they said it couldn't be done, but it can. You just have to feed through what I've done. I've fed through 12 outs. 12 outs out the mixing desk into the renderer. And then I can monitor in stereo, and I can monitor in 7.1.4, which is Music Atmos. And it seems to be working well. The only thing is I can't, thing you can do with in Pro Tools and Atmos is you can, if I show you here, I can actually show you. That's an amazing thing. Let me pull it up. So you see there, you can actually spin this stuff around, and if I show you if I play it from the renderer, I think if I drag the renderer here, come on Ryan, it's very disorientating, this thing. Get out of there, you need to go across there to the other screen and pull the renderer in, Ryan. I'm trying. Oh, other way maybe. Huh? Where are you coming? Come on. Why can't I get the render in? This is so amateur. This is madness. Surely this is possible. Oh, it is possible. Come on. This seems weird. Why can't I get the render in? Oh, maybe because it's in full screen. Can't do that, Ryan. Yes, I can. There are no rules in this studio. Right, there we are. Bloody hell. That took forever. And then it's gone again. Oh, you bastard. You bloody bastard. I can swear. It doesn't matter. I don't know why people do swear more. Maybe they're more polite than me, but I can't help it. Right, let me play it so you can see the renderer going. Oh, for God's sake. Let me move it away. Come on, get out of the way. Damn it. Damn it. There we go. Now play around. Play like the wind. So you can see that's how spaced the track's around. These are all the 12 speakers are around there, around your head. That's your head. And as you listen, it's all around. And right now it's kind of static because if I want to be able to mix in stereo and Atmos at the same time, I can't automate spinning around all these things. And to me, it's all right because I think that's a bit of a fad. I think spinning around sounds around your ears, around 12 speakers, it sounds like fun, but it kind of reminds me of when you read about in history when stereo came about and like the Beatles recorded the drums on the right side and then the bass on the left, and at the end of the day it all kind of came down to quite a simple, well, it's all in the center but it's spread apart and you have like left and right and put the guitar there, put the guitar there, but the bass goes there and the kick goes there and the voice goes there and backing vocals go left and right there. And that's kind of what I think Atmos will be. I think Atmos will end up being kind of stereo, high stereo, where you have nearly everything left, right, center and sides, maybe the side speakers, but that's like an extended stereo, and then the rest is kind of reverb. I just don't think it's going to be. And the reason why I don't think, and this is a very good point, because I know my history, you see, is that orchestras, you know, in 400 years ago, before there was any recordings, before the 20th century, they could have done anything they wanted to. They could have stuck the musicians, because everything was live. There was nothing stopping Handel, Mozart, and Beethoven, and Tchaikovsky, and all the rest, spreading the orchestra players around. And they did do it every now and then. They'd stick the horn players up at the top of the theatre and they go, oh, how novel, oh, novel. But it was a novelty. Everything was generally in the front. You know what I mean? So I'm going to go on 1,000 years of that as my instinct. And also it saves me a lot of time. I'm not going to mix it again. It's never going to happen. You need to do it both at the same time. So what was I going to show you? So, okay, so one of my main points is I want to point out, because hardly anyone does this and it's really weird, is that backing vocal counterpoint is such a massive part of making a song better. And I don't know, because people don't learn about counterpoint much anymore, you know, music and harmony is boring, so people are just about, I got beats and I put the top line and it's out. And that's totally fair enough. But I like old songs of the past that use counterpoint, like Quincy Jones and classic songs that have a lot of counterpoint backing vocals, which makes the lead vocal way more interesting. It's a weird thing. Now, you're going to hate me for saying this, but one of the greatest guys for this is Mutt Lange, who's probably the most successful producer of all time. Did like AC/DC, Back in Black, to Def Leppard, to Bryan Adams, Everything I Do For You, and Shania Twain. And Shania Twain is still the biggest selling female of all time, believe it or not. And what was it? So if you listen to like Shania Twain's albums, I would say the first 3 albums, but she's got this really weird first album that was nothing, that they're kind of trying to bury, but they can't really. But it's oh god, I can't remember the name now. Come On Over for one is the 3rd album, and then Up. Those are the 2 ones, right? Because they're kind of poppy, less country than the other one. But like Mutt Lange uses his own voice. He's done that with Def Leppard and all that stuff. He uses his own voice as kind of like in a falsetto kind of high number. But his voice is really like you don't hear it. You hear the solo vocal, and it's the backing vocal is very distant, but he creates loads of counter melodies and harmonies. He spends years on stuff, but there's a reason why he sells millions and millions and millions and millions and millions and millions. I mean, Shania Twain, each album is a diamond, which is 10 million sales. And like Coming Over was 44 million. I think Coming Over album is still the biggest selling female album ever. And, you know, and you got to think this production's got something to do with it, and it has. But so I've done it in the second verse here in this verse. Let me just play it.
Feel anything, but then my eyes they open to see a distant light, a distant line. I live on in behold.
And it just creates. When you learn composition, how to write for orchestra, counterpoint is the most important thing. When you hear a Tchaikovsky melody from Swan Lake, you may think you're hearing the melody, but actually it's the counterpoint that makes that melody strong. I don't know why. I think it's a bit like Godfather. You know, what's going on in the scene in the film is quite simple, but all the things behind the psychology of it makes it so great. I think it's like that. It's like a tapestry that you're not aware of because you're only aware of the figure in the front, which is the melody. But it makes a massive difference, and hardly anyone does that stuff, and I do it all the time, and I think it's part of the reason why I do all right. I do okay in the streaming world. Yeah, so that's it. And I was going to play the middle eight. Let me play the middle eight. And that's the strings with synths. I used like, so I've got real orchestral strings that are scored out. Where are we? Let me just solo it. And they sound kind of phasey, and that's deliberate because I want to make them sound like a synth. They're lovely sounding. If you took the phase off, you'd hear this beautiful orchestral. And just a really simple melody. So I made that phasey, and then I added a synth. And the reason why is because I wanted instead of like more like a John Williams melody, I wanted more like a Vangelis one, which is really simple. And the reason is to give the ear a break from the voice and the lots of things going on. So like counterpoint's great, but it also can get tiring to the ear. So you have to know where to put some space in the mix, you know, the productions. Otherwise, it just gets a bit like Bach Brandenburg Concerto. Dare I say it? It is an amazing piece of music, but it is like it's hard to listen to the whole lot. So I put that synth underneath the strings, which gives it more of a Vangelis sound. See? And now that everyone, your ears had the break, by the time of the end of the middle eight, your ears had the break to hear the final chorus and all the vocals, and there's tons of stuff going on. And that way you can get, I always think, is the final chorus going to have me screaming at the sky going, yeah, like in a film, ah, no, on your knees in the rain, no. It's got to have that moment every single time with me, otherwise I go, I have to rewrite it. It's not dramatic enough. I like drama. I like the drama, you see. I can't tell you how many instruments. I mean, I add 100 instruments and strip it down to 30. I just got to. You got to try these. You think. Oh God, can I make it a little bit better if I try this? I'll try this and put this in and I make them inactive, so I don't think I've got them in here, so I can show you. And like sometimes you have to get rid of stuffing that's really great Like this choir sound was nice, but it was getting in the way. It was getting too, or like the mean bass. But that, see, listen to this mean bass. It's cool. It's a cool bass sound, Rory. Yeah, come on, yeah, yeah, yeah. But it's not really, yeah, it's not really suiting. See, that's just, it's juxtaposed to what the feeling of the piece is. And though I liked playing it in, I was going, this is cool, this is gonna make it. This is the thing that makes it a hit. And you know, an hour later you're like going, why did I do that? So I've done tons of that, but it's all lost in that. It's all made inactive. Guitars, fiddles, everything. I try it all. And then I get back to what works, but then it takes a lot of time. It takes many days of like coming back to it with fresh ears. But I think I'm kind of there. And then, is there anything else I wanted to say? So if I play the beginning, there's one more thing with the flute. I just want to tell you about that.
I live on in Valhalla. I live on in Valhalla. I sit on a boat.
Right, so I can't tell you how hard that float was to get right, because that was not. Let me move that around there so you get. So that was so hard to get right because it was an octave higher than that. Do I dare take it up again just to show you? Okay, I'll take it up just to show you the original pitch. Oh, it was such a, and it was just, it really, I love I love the sound of it, so I didn't want to replace it. But it was really annoying. It's just like the piercing frequency limit. So this is it. So here you go. Oh, don't you let me go. Don't you let me go. Titanic, when she lets him go. Doesn't even try to put him on. You know, they try once. She goes, sorry, Leonardo DiCaprio, you drown now. Oh, it's cold. Anyway, sorry, I was meant to be playing that. It's the gripe of Titanic, the stupidest film ever made. At least try and move over. Let him on. Anyway, it sounds lovely, and I was working with it, but it just gets, I want people to hear and listen 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 to the song. And believe it or not, stuff like that will make people switch the track. Because they won't think, oh my, that flute is so piercing. They go, oh, I'm just not in the mood for that. And it's those things you have to work out as a producer. You go, I don't want that. So I took it down an octave there, and it's like, oh, so much nicer in the ear. And then you can see, but I still had to add a lot of stuff. So I added EQ. If I go, so you can see how dead it was. See how dead it is? Like, so taking down an octave, you kind of kill everything that was great about it. But then I EQ'd it up, put some saturation, put some compression, put some more EQ and compression, put some reverb. And RDS is there just for the odd frequencies. And that's lovely. And you can hear it 1,000 times. You're not going to get annoyed by it. That's what I want. I want this kind of like restful feeling to it. So I try and take out anything that's going to be not restful. Anyway, I think that's about it. Not bad for first video. I don't know how long that is. It's, you know, settle down when I do videos because they're never short. Anyway, I hope this worked. Good test.